Hello everyone and welcome to my overview of Samurai and Shadowbringers based on my experience with it at the North American Media Tour. This one won't be nearly as in-depth as the video I've done for Monk, but that doesn't mean Samurai isn't any good. It's just that, as I anticipated, it was in a really good spot and every change made is just adding on to the existing kit. As usual, I'll break this down into 3 parts: what's changed, what's new, and the speculated rotation, which is pretty much the same thing as it is right now, spoiler alert. Skills that have changed include Meditation, Hagakure, Mangetsu and Oka, and Merciful Eyes. Meditation does the exact same thing it did before, only now it grants stacks that are consumed with a new ability Shoha, which I'll get to in the What's New section. Hagakure was removed and replaced with a new ability Iki Shoten, which I'll also get into in the What's New section. Mangetsu and Oka will now add 15 seconds onto Jinpu and Shifu respectively upon execution. You'll need to apply the buffs with Jinpu and Shifu first, but having this addition means that you can continue doing a pure AoE rotation without stopping to reapply buffs, if you ever did that to begin with. It was a real hassle before. Merciful Eyes is staying the same, except that now it no longer reduces enmity. Essentially they reset it to how it was originally. Don't worry though, because the tank changes make aggro generation a complete non-issue, at least in the build that we played on. Now that we've covered that, let's move on to the new goodies Square Enix has given us. We've got an enhanced Jinpu and Shifu trait, enhanced Iaijutsu trait, the abilities Iki Shoten, Shohai, Hisatsu Senne, and Tsubame Gaishi. Jinpu and Shifu will now have their buffs increased to 12% at level 78. Nothing crazy here, but it's still good news. Iaijutsu will now only take 1.3 seconds to cast at level 74. Speedy Setsugekas. Now onto the abilities. As I said earlier, Iki Shoten is the replacement for Hagakure. It adds 50 Kenki on a 60-second cooldown but doesn't consume Sen. Like, they're just giving away free Kenki. That also means more Setsugekas. Shoha is an interesting addition because it allows Meditate to do even more than just grant more Kenki, and even encourages figuring out how to get the most time spent in meditation. While there's no visible change to the meditation tooltip, it now grants stacks based on how long you're channeling. Shoha is an attack that gets stronger based on your meditation stacks. Because, you know, they gave Samurai Meditate that you could just channel, so why not just give them a Forbidden Chakra equivalent that doesn't even need full stacks to be used, and does more damage. As a Samurai, this is great news, but also as a monk, just at 2 Shadowbringers? At 2? Anyway, moving on to Hisatsu Senne. This is just the single target counterpart to Guren, since they share the same cooldown timer. This is actually an ability I was secretly hoping for, just for the animation, but I said to myself, nah, Ninja already has 2 swords, they wouldn't do that. And then they did that. Welcome to the club, Ninja, nothing is sacred. Finally, we have Tsubame Gaishi, which is on a 60-second cooldown timer and allows you to recast whatever Iaijutsu you just used at roughly 150 of the potency in a Kaishi form. 2 things to note. Kaiten does not work on any of the Kaishi abilities, and for Higanbana, it will not stack. I'm assuming this will primarily be used for Goken and AoE pulls and Setsugeka the rest of the time. There could be instances where you're facing 2 bosses as in Swallow's Compass where Higanbana would be a viable option, but other than that, not really. After crunching numbers, a Kaiten enhanced Higanbana still does more than its Kaishi counterpart, so there's not much to think about on this one. Still, more Setsugeka! And honestly, that's about it. As I've said before, it's hard to come up with anything I wanted to change with Samurai because, aside from the lack of raid utility, it was already a very well put together job. Like it or hate it, the kit was complete, and it seems the dev team agreed. These changes simply added on to it. In terms of rotation, I just can't see things changing up too much. The opener that had Hagakure will just use Iki Shoten instead. Guren will be replaced during bosses with Senne, and you'll get 2 Setsugeka instead of 1. The only real difference is that you'll have an extra Sen if you're like me and use the 1 Sen opener, since it won't be consumed with Hagakure. I'm not sure how significant that is in the grand scheme of things, or if the opener itself will need that much of an overhaul. I could be wrong though, and I look forward to hearing about what you guys think in the comments. That pretty much sums up my experience with Shadowbringers Samurai. Of course, things are subject to change, as the version I played was still an earlier build, so take this information with that in mind. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.